Former government assassin Michael Mason, an ex-operative of the Black Kites, an elite government kill team, lives on an island off the coast of Scotland with his dog. Each week, Mason receives supplies from Jessie and her uncle, and he warns her not to come over to his apartment again, a young girl grieving the loss of her mother, who grows increasingly frustrated by his lack of respect and reclusiveness. And she complained that he doesn't even come down to greet them, even though they come to bring supplies for him week after week. Sometime prior, Mason went rogue from his former agency and has been on the run ever since. One day, Jessie gets marooned on his island after a storm, which she and her uncle usually bring supplies to Mason, whereby she lost her uncle to the storm, and Jason sailed with his boat onto the water to rescue her from drowning, and he took care of her as she stays with him. However, a trip into town to purchase medical supplies for Jessie's wounds, sustained attempting to rescue her, and also decides to get her some clothes as well, means popping his head out in front of several cameras in the world. And the camera caught him, and they located he's been living in an island in Scotland ever since, when Manafort is not only still looking for his top soldier, who broke off loyalty for some reason, but will stop at nothing to leverage his position for revenge. He also has a replacement cold-hearted assassin to carry out, presumably all the same dirty work, including this cruel mission. It isn't long before he sends his team putting a siege on the small island, whereby he orders them to go after Mason and Jessie, with Mason now thrust into old habits to protect himself and Jessie. However, he kills the men and escapes with Jessie to a Scottish farm, where a man named Angus meets them and treats his wounds. Meanwhile, Manafort sends his lead assassin Workman after them and told him to eliminate both Mason and the girl. Angus's son Callum calls the police, thinking the police would rescue them as he's scared of Mason. Workman intercepts the call and shoots Angus dead as he opens the door with a sniper from afar. He also shoots at the police cars as well. Mason and Jessie escape the police, took a police vehicle, and fight Workman on the road as he chases behind them with his car and hit them from behind. Mason and Workman both hit each other's car while driving before Jason could outrun him on the road, destroying his car. Mason goes to his friend Arthur Booth's house to take care of Jessie, where Arthur explained how they figured out his whereabouts, and Manafort was still after him all this while, but Workman intercepts them again, shooting through the door of the house, while Booth was getting the car ready when he heard the gunshot. Workman fights Mason. They both fought off in the house before Mason and Jessie get away in a car driven by Booth. Mason and Jessie go to a nightclub to seek shelter when a group of agents sent by Manafort invades it. Though Mason fights them off one at a time and kills them all, rescues Jessie, sending her on a boat to Spain, and she insists he comes with her to Spain so he will be safe before he is ambushed by Workman as he shoots them from afar. Then Mason dropped Jessie off the boat. Mason and Workman fights, and Mason asks him if he knows why he's doing this, and he replied, "It doesn't matter." Mason kills him by breaking his neck. Mason then travels to Manafort's house, kills two of his front guards. Manafort insists Mason was his greatest weapon before he went rogue, and Mason puts a bullet in his head, ending the threat. Manafort's assistant tells MI6 that though they no longer want to kill Mason, they will still attempt non-lethal ways to recruit him back into the agency, as they watch over Jessie from their CCTV cameras, and always figured it would take time, but Mason would always look after Jessie. Meanwhile, Jessie sits in a cafe and receives a package as she opens it and found a chess piece from Mason, who overlooks her from a window. He leaves just as she turns round, and knowing that Mason will protect her if his former agency returns and that he will always be with her, she smiles.